Hello dear listeners, and welcome back. In today's video, like the previous one, you will be learned 8 useful English words that are very beneficial in daily life. Without wasting time, let's just get started. And the first word that we have today is condolence. Condolence. The stress actually is on the second syllable, condolence. Condolence is a noun, and it is a kind and supportive expression given to someone who is sad because they've lost someone or something important. It shows care and sympathy. Imagine your friend is sitting alone, crying because his dad passed away. You cannot bring his dad back to life, but you sit next to him, put your heart on his shoulder and say, "I am really sorry for your loss." This is actually condolence, and you are giving emotional warmth to his heart. Some synonyms for condolence: sympathy, compassion, comfort, support, and some collocations, some words that commonly used with condolence. For example, offer condolences, express condolences, and send condolences. For example sentences, we have: I offered my condolences to my friend after he lost his grandfather. And also we have: we express our deepest condolences to the family during this difficult time. And she sent a message of heartfelt condolences to comfort his colleague. That's it for the first word, dear listeners. And now let's go to the second word that we have. And for the second word, we've got implausible. Implausible. The stress is on the second syllable. Implausible. Implausible is an adjective, and something implausible is not believable or unlikely to be true. It sounds like a story that doesn't make sense at all. For example, imagine someone says they saw a cow driving a car to school. You would laugh and think, that's implausible. Or for example, if someone tells you they climbed a tree and touched the moon, do you believe it? No, because it's implausible. And implausible means it doesn't sound true. So, some synonyms for implausible: unbelievable, unlikely, doubtful, unrealistic. And we have common collocations for implausible. For instance, implausible story, implausible excuse, seems implausible. Now let's have some example sentences. For instance, the student said his dog ate his laptop, but the teacher found that implausible. Or we could say, her explanation sounded implausible, so nobody believed her. Or we could say, it's highly implausible that he finished the whole project in 1 hour. That's it for the second word, dear listeners. Now let's go to the third word that we have, and it is frivolous. Frivolous. The stress is on the first syllable, frivolous. Frivolous is an adjective, and it describes something that's not serious, not important, or done just for fun, when it's not the right time. It can also describe a person who doesn't take things seriously. Imagine you are studying for an important exam, but your friend comes and says, "Let's go to bazaar and buy something." That's frivolous speech. It's like laughing and buying something when the situation needs focus and seriousness. And we have some synonyms for frivolous, like silly, not serious, trivial. And some collocations like frivolous behavior, frivolous spending, frivolous excuses, and frivolous activities. Now let's have some example sentences. For instance, we could say, "He spent his money on frivolous things instead of saving it." Or, during the meeting, she kept making frivolous jokes which annoyed everyone. And that was a frivolous argument. It didn't matter at all. Or we could say, "The meeting was absolutely frivolous." That's it, dear listeners, and let's go to the fourth word that we have, and it is compensate. Compensate. The stress is on the first syllable, compensate. Compensate is a verb. To compensate means to make up for something that's missing, lost, or unfair. You give something to balance the situation. Imagine your friend accidentally steps on your sandwich and crushes it. You are sad because you lost your sandwich. Your friend says, "I will buy you another sandwich." This is compensation, dear listeners. So compensate is to replace or make up for something lost. Imagine this, dear listeners. You lose something, someone gives something back to you, and this is compensation. Some synonyms for compensate: make up for, repay, and balance. And some collocations: compensate for a loss, compensate someone, financial compensation. Now let's look at some examples. For instance, the company compensated the worker for his extra hours, and she couldn't attend the meeting, so she compensated by sending a detailed report. Another one: he broke his sister's toy, so he compensated by buying her a new one. And the free meal was given to compensate for the long waiting time. That's compensate. And now let's have the following word, which is instill. Instill. The stress is on the second syllable. Instill. Instill is a verb, and to instill means to slowly and gently teach someone an idea, value, or feeling so it becomes part of their thinking. It's not quick actually, it happens little by little over time. Imagine that you are adding drops of water to a dry plant every day. Just one drop doesn't change anything, but after many days the plant grows strong. So this is how instilling works. Some synonyms, for example, teach, plant, introduce, cultivate. And we have some collocations: instill confidence, instill discipline, instill values, and finally instill good habits, which is used mostly. And now we have some examples. For example, teachers try to instill confidence in their students, and parents instill values in their children through daily actions, and the coach instilled discipline in the team through consistent training. And last but not least, reading books regularly can instill a love for learning. And now another word that we have is averse. Averse. The stress is on the verse. Averse actually is an adjective and usually used with to. If someone is averse to something, they strongly dislike it or do not want to do it. It shows discomfort, dislike, or unwillingness. Imagine someone hates spiders. If they even see a spider, they jump away fast. They are averse to spiders. So averse is strongly against something. Now we have some synonyms: unwilling, opposed, against, not wanting. And some collocations: averse to change, averse to risk, not averse to, averse to violence. Some examples: she is averse to waking up early. She hates mornings. And he is averse to taking risks, so he always chooses the safest option. And many people are averse to conflict and avoid arguments. Finally, I am not averse to helping. I just need some time. Now for the seventh word that we have is refute. Refute. The stress is on the second syllable. Refute. Refute is a verb, and it means to prove that something is wrong or false by giving evidence or strong reasons. Not just disagreeing, but you show it is incorrect. Imagine someone says, the earth is flat. You open a picture of the earth from space and show it is round. You refute their claim. So, refute is to prove something wrong with evidence. Some synonyms: disprove, argue against, challenge, contradict. And some common collocations: we have refute an argument, refute a claim, refute allegations, refute the idea. And for the example sentences we have: the scientist refute the rumor with clear data. She refuted his claim by showing the real documents, and the lawyer tried to refute the witness's story in court, and he refuted the idea that he was lazy by showing his work results. The last word that we have today is weigh. Weigh. It is spelled like W-E-I-G-H. It has the same pronunciation with the word way, W-A-Y, but they are completely different words in meaning. So, weigh is a verb, and it actually have two meanings. The first one is to weigh something means to measure how heavy it is, And it can also mean to think carefully about something before making a decision. What I want to teach is the figurative meaning of way, which is to think carefully before deciding. We have some synonyms like consider, think over, and evaluate. For the collocations, we have weigh something, weigh yourself, weigh the options, weigh the evidence, weigh heavily on someone. And for the examples of weigh, for the physical meaning, for example, we have the baby weighs 4 kilograms. And for the thinking meaning, for example, we have think carefully before choosing. And another example, she weighed the pros and cons before accepting the job. Another one, before making a decision, you should weigh all the options. That's it, dear listeners. And let's wrap up this lesson by giving a short story using all these 8 words in one meaningful short story. Listen to this short story, dear brothers and sisters, and contemplate what I'm saying. When Sarah received a letter of condolence, she felt sad but also determined to instill kindness in others. Her friend told an implausible story, but Sarah ignored the frivolous excuse and decided to compensate for lost time by working harder. Although some were averse to challenges, she helped them weigh their options carefully. Even when a student tried to refute her advice, her patience and care won everyone over. That's it for this lesson, dear listeners, and I hope you found it useful. Thanks for listening.